to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We have an agenda.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Minutes approved. Communications.
Easy Cog yesterday, housing with Tracy. She was also going to thank us for our matching monies that we gave, and all the other counties did it also. We got if you ever know if anybody needs some housing help, let us know, because we do have a pot there to help out. And then Kevin and I had the other one that was kind of there.
Yeah, that's very entertaining.
So that was it for me.
I didn't have any meetings except for the one we went to on Wednesday, of course, but I did have somebody call me and they were concerned about the back blue and would like us. They didn't think that the county attorney would be the person that represents us if we don't follow the law, and they would like us to look into that. And that's all.
I did, but I was told differently, if you recall that conversation.
Right, but he urged that he was pretty positive that that was not how it was gonna go, but I mean,
I thought that the conversation was, he gave an opinion on the back to blue, not that he was going, that he would represent us or anything, was it?
Which should we talk about?
the county attorney,
County attorney.
yeah, I guess that he would just like to have us look into that and he, I mean, I guess his thoughts were he'd like us to follow the law. I know we're in a very tough budget year, but so that's all.
Employee of that department.
Yes,
But we can talk to the county attorney and get an opinion.
that, yeah, I mean.
You wanna do it or you want me to
Yeah,
do it?
well, I can, if
Okay.
you want me to. So
Just get an opinion on him on,
whether he would represent us or not, I guess.
or what his opinion is on back to blue if we can't afford it yet.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have any meetings, but I did get a email, I don't know if you guys got, probably not, from the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Board Director. And Marilyn will be in here later to give us some information too, but basically it was just talked about that they were planning for like maybe some staff departure, so what they're doing is they're prioritizing their duties and what needs to be done, and their highest priorities were where was it? It was basically treating and then paying the providers. So scheduling, treating, and paying the providers is their highest priority. But that's all I had for the week.
Did you guys get the letter from Carol? Email?
Which one was that? I don't recall getting one.
Yeah, I was struggling getting through the emails. I finally figured I got my copy.
From who, Karen Rowe? Do we all get it?
Supposed to have. Look in your junk. Mine got sent to the deal where you've got to release it from Microsoft. It was junk.
There's like focused and other and junk.
Yeah, all I have is focused and other.
I'd like to send it to you, but I'm not be smart enough to.
Did you check your clutter?
That other,
Clutter.
I don't have, where'd you find clutter?
I have junk email and I have other. And I have nothing in my junk.
Oh, junk. Well, anybody else?
Well, I could search it. What's her name?
Karen Rowe, ROE. I just tried to send you something. Can I send it to you? Sometimes for some reason I do.
ROE, you said?
Yeah.
No, I
It's
don't-
pretty long. I would read it to you, but it'll take me a long time.
Yeah, I just searched it.
You got
I don't
enough?
have it anyway.
Right now, I'm gonna send it to you,
Okay.
maybe.
Well, I sometimes don't get your emails.
That's
so-
why I said maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks for blocking everything.
I'll take my back.
So far, nobody got it, huh?
Mhm.
You in and out.
And then sent to Seth, I tried Brandy, Chris, and John. We'll shoot for plan D. But print, where do I go? The printer here. Comes out ink, you said, right?
Mhm.
Well, I was successful at hooking that printer up too, so.
There's a LaserJet Pro and there's a HP Jet 3700 series.
We have the HP
Yeah, don't do that one.
3700.
This one's not wireless though.
So I think it goes over to Sherry, right? Yeah. Or somehow. Sherry, you
I
got
got
it?
it.
Oh, you got it? Can you forward on to everybody else there, since I can't? She used to be one of the administrators, or I'm not for sure the exact title, up at the Highland Ridge. I had the same meetings as everybody already discussed.
Yeah, we had the
Conference board.
conference board,
For
but
some reason, I still want to call it compensation, because that's, it's conference board. See if it shows up now.
yep, I got it.
I got it.
From Brandy.
Show off. Okay. There's no liquor licenses, right?
You got any open forum today?
Oh, maybe I speak for open forum.
You want to say anything today? You want to say anything in open forum?
I basically told you what I,
That's good. All right.
maybe you didn't hear it. But I said, you just can't keep raising the taxes on people, sometimes you have to cut. I said, I run on the school board and we were mandated, you guys will end up, that's what's gonna happen to you one of these days too. State's thinking about it, so you need to, maybe you ought to get things under control today and rather tomorrow. You know, we've got another year coming, you've got family to think about, you've got friends, and so we're like, oh, we can't cut help, we can't. Well, you can, if you have to. You might cut services, but so what?
Do we have a Lincoln Township clerk?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll nominate Stephanie Tice for the Lincoln Township Clerk.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. We have a clerk.
Thank you, John.
At the moment, we're township full, right?
Yeah, I think everything's fine.
I gotta give you her
I was
number.
gonna say, if you could give me that.
We're quite a phase there of losing clerks.
Yeah, that can stop them.
I told you, you can give her a call, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, something I guess I don't think we've been doing is acknowledge of recently re-elected county officials, deputies, assistants, and clerks.
I looked over the list and I make a motion to acknowledge the recently elected county officials, their deputies, assistants, and clerks.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right?
Opposed, say nay. Acknowledged.
Thank you.
Keep a straight face. Our County Transportation's request to hire considerations. We will, okay, somebody's. Turn this one down. Starting to take this. You always approve all the transportation hires. It's for part-time, we'll start at 14. It is for Alan Schumacher.
Does he have enough to do?
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Alan is approved. You can stop at the stop signs.
Yes, that's true.
I wish you'd been here for that. Ray Associates Architects and Court Change Order Considerations. Is this, and this is to get the money back? So I thought we were supposed to get our hold back or whatever,
Is that the one I discussed?
I think.
Positions allowances to be credited back.
So we just won't be billed for that.
We don't prepay any of that.
Yeah, it's not gonna come back to us. We just won't be billed for that. Now, hopefully it will be the end of this one.
That was for the courthouse, correct?
Mhm. So I think this is about more ready. Change it that much, credit it back. Well, not credit it,
Right.
bill me that much less.
Terry, you know, this is what trigger. You sure get up listening to
I didn't have to.
I'm sure you're last, though.
Chris?
What'd I do?
I'd like to know, what did you do?
I don't know, if that's true.
I didn't do anything to it.
I'll try to stop it.
They're all, maybe they're also.
As the minutes go by.
You're slowly going down.
Almost all the way down now.
Well, you had your drill in here, what did you do?
Oh, goodness. I messed with one person's chair and he's waiting for life.
I just got down to a 4 now.
Oh, man, good.
Hi, Nick.
We approve that?
Yeah.
Or- I'll make a motion to approve the change order.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. I consider the other.
Oops, sorry. Good catch.
All right, the last 2 days, we've been hauling, rock for our stockpiles. So we haul it ourselves and do a little bit there. Yesterday and the day before, we did go out and do a little bit of grading. I'm sure it's not gonna look great today with the rain, but yeah, they were informed to, scratch over some of the potholes, so they will come back. But, especially with the rain like today, but, hopefully they are better than what they were 2 days ago. And we do have people still cutting brush. I'm going over all the budget stuff today, make sure that we are still on track and everything is good. And that's partially due to, I do that every month, but, we're now getting down to the final 5 months, so we just gotta make sure everything stays on track. And also trying to figure out, we talked a little bit that extension on V77, worked through some of that stuff. And, their bid came back higher than the bid threshold. Bid threshold in the state of Iowa is 115 or 120,000. I just looked at it. So their bid kind of came back at 130. So we're trying to figure out what to do there.
Scheduled public hearing for FY25 Iowa County Budget Amendment number 1.
Friday, March 7th.
So if you go, their date is March 7th at 9:35. Is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for that. March 1st, date,
March 7th
March 7th, sorry.
is what you said.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Unless you want to come in on Saturday.
No, thanks.
Northland Securities Bond refinancing consideration. Did you guys have a chance to look that over? The way I read it is it would cost us money to do it.
That's the way I took it.
And I don't think we want to do that.
Nope.
That was the one to try and pay it off.
Pay it off early, yeah.
Yeah, so it costs us more money to do it.
I mean, we could revisit it later if interest rates go down
If
again.
they go down,
Yeah,
but right now they're too high.
right, now, yes,
To do that.
yes.
So we don't need to make a motion to not do anything, I assume. And the work session, I'd prefer to do that when we're done, but that's up to you guys.
Yes.
So do you want to go on a recess until?
9:45?
We are on break.
Okay, on break, I gotta get it on. Hold on.
Let's do that.
Morning, thank you.
Still raining?
You know, depends on where you are. You know, it was a downpour when I first got on the interstate. And then it let up and it's not really raining out here. So.
We usually check the roof over there, so see if it's water.
It's supposed to be done at 10 o'clock and the sun's supposed to start coming out.
And then it'll be 50.
That'd be awesome.
What they say.
Thanks for coming in, Marilyn.
Oh, of course. Happy to.
Seems you can update these guys better than me, so.
Well,
How many more updates will we get from you? Is this it?
pardon me?
This is our last update from you?
Or, I'll think of some.
She's here till June, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Well, Linda's a different story, and that's our problem. What, do you want me to just address GA, or what was your intention, John?
Yeah, I was gonna just have you, I told them that there's some services that we're still gonna have to
Okay,
provide and maybe some suggestions on how we should do that.
I started as Iowa County Social Services Director in 1985. And at that time, in counties our size, and I refuse to say small county because we're not small. That's my soapbox. But, and we just covered anything that fell under the purview of social services, but something came up, we deal with it. And that was typical of a lot of counties. Then when the mental health stuff started getting pretty complex, most counties hired a separate mental health director and general assistance director. But again, a lot of counties our size didn't, so we do both. You've been told several times now, and May will be coming, I think, February 17th to talk more about the region. But, oh, and also in 85, that's interesting, I started in March, and a month later was spring school. So I go to spring school, and I'm 2 weeks into my job, and there's all these rumors going around, the state's gonna take over social services. And that happened every year for my 30 years of being the director. But they've done it. And as of June 30, counties are completely out of mental health service business. And that creates this dilemma of Iowa County needing to decide what you're going to do in terms of having someone who can handle general relief. What you have in front of you is a general relief ordinance. Every county is mandated by the Code of Iowa to provide general relief. It doesn't say in any way, shape, or form how you have to provide it. Listed are some, number 3 is the relief that may be provided. I don't know if you've ever heard of some of the debates, but there are counties who don't provide burial, and of course everybody said, oh, you have to, it's the law. It isn't the law. And there's other things under 3, clothing, emergency food. We never have applications for that. So typically, when we get an application, it's someone that needs help with rent and utilities. And basically what you do is you take their application and you just apply it to the ordinance. You decide if they're eligible, you ask for proof of income. If they're asking for rent, you ask for a rent statement. And if they're eligible, you pay the bill. We get so few applications, it's almost unbelievable. But a big reason for that is we go by the FIP guidelines. For example, a family of 3, the monthly income has to be under $426. So you can see why we don't get very many applications. It's not a very time-consuming job. The tricky part is just, like I said, applying all the information on the application to the ordinance to determine if they qualify, what they qualify for, and the amount of what they qualify for.
So this is what Melinda's been doing this.
No, I've been
You've
doing
been
it.
doing this.
Well, I make the decisions and she does the paperwork. She submits the bill, and so we've both been doing it.
How many a year do you think you do?
Oh, I wished I'd asked Belinda that. I really do think, Kevin, that there's months when we don't have an application, or we get an app that they don't qualify.
Well, you said you did so few, I didn't know how so few.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's pretty subjective. I would say under 20.
A year.
The thing that really gets us is the funerals. It's just amazing. And I know we've dealt with that since, I think most of you have been here. Maybe not.
Not me, probably.
Not, yeah,
I'm new.
yeah. Since you just came in January, right?
Yeah.
Newbie.
Yeah. It seems like in the spring, we get more funerals than we budgeted for. But
How much do you budget for that a year?
I think this year it was 17,000 something. And that's primary funerals. It's small potatoes in terms of money. And in terms of the county budget, the thing is, you gotta do it. To some extent, you gotta provide general assistance. I would be happy to continue, but logistically, that would be crazy, because I would have to drive to the office every day to check the mail, because I have 3 days to make a decision, and within 2 days of that, I have to send a notice. So I would have to know every working day if there's an applicant coming in. Some counties contract with other counties to do their general assistance. Years ago, when the mental health thing really got taken off and that took up so much time, I know there were some counties who went to HACAP, contracted with HACAP to do it. I think some counties contract with public health to do it. I would be more than happy, and I think it would be necessary that whoever ends up doing it, that I would go over however many apps they wanted me to go over with them to teach them how to make the decision.
Somebody also told me that some people have used the VA to do it.
Oh, yes, I should have mentioned that, absolutely. See, when I started, like I said, when I started, we did everything that came under the purview of social services. I did veterans assistance, but then the laws changed that you needed to have an affiliation with veterans.
What if the family's not eligible for veterans? Should the VA still?
The VA would just take it on as a separate, completely separate service that they provided out of their office. It would have nothing to do with VA. You know, you've got, in fact, when I get an app from someone who's a veteran, I refer to veterans. And veterans will refer to us if they get somebody who's not a veteran, but they're completely separate programs.
Something I could discuss with them, I guess.
With the VA.
The advantage of veterans is that they understand getting an app, reviewing it for all the things you have to review for and making a decision.
We can't justify having a person for 2 people a month.
No way. I mean, not my, if I was in your shoes, I couldn't say to a voter, oh yeah, we hired a
Yeah, I was waiting,
GA director
I was
for
waiting for you.
45,000 a year and they do.
I was waiting to see if you're gonna argue with me. I don't see how you can ever say that.
You know, it's, now there are counties whose guidelines are higher. They don't go by the FIP guidelines. Their guidelines are much higher, so obviously a lot more people qualify. And it might be a full-time job in a county our size if they use much higher guidelines. It's kind of a dilemma. I didn't know if you'd want to maybe talk to some other supervisors in counties our size and see if they have better solutions. I actually think, I can't see, is that Brandy back there?
Oh, see, you can remember.
There are some counties whose auditor does it, but I know Brandy
Did you
has
say yes?
way too much.
Stick your hand up, I'll do it.
You say public health in some counties does it?
Pardon me?
Public health in some counties does it?
I think so. At least they did it one time. For the very reason that Kevin brings up, you can't justify a full-time employee.
Right.
Our county might have the fewest apps in the whole state. Did we just, you know, we're elderly as a county. And our guidelines are very, very low. Does mean everybody's thinking.
Well, I was thinking like Veterans Affairs, but, she's gonna come in here and brief us on her yearly things too, but she handles a big caseload too. And then public health, those are like the two fits, I think.
I mean, I'm not trying to influence you in any way, I'm just telling you what other counties have done. And the thing about VA is that they're used to working with an ordinance and seeing if the person fits. And I really like that.
Yeah, the commission would have to approve it.
I would think.
So that would be,
The commission.
well, if we do get somebody, I appreciate that you're willing to sit down with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Once you get it, it's really simple. It doesn't take very long. You just know which blanks you need to look at, and sometimes right away they're over income, you're done. You send them a notice, you're over income.
That's
What
probably,
do they give, like a tax statement? We don't have a tax, what do you have to prove how do you prove your income?
Usually a bank statement. Yeah, for deposits or employer. But usually if they're employed, they're not gonna qualify.
it's $500.
$426 for a family of three.
Jeez, wow.
You see,
Yeah,
A month?
it's
they need
basic.
assistance.
Go ahead.
They need assistance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, you bet.
Beyond it.
But typically it's someone who's unemployed and doesn't qualify. If they have children, they almost never qualify because we refer them on to HHS or FIP. Yeah, it seems overwhelming at first when you're trying to make sure you're checking all these things, how many automobiles do they have, and how much do they make, and this and this and this, and are they actually related, or are they just two people in the same house, that type of thing. But after you catch on to it, it really doesn't take
So you handle about 20 apps a year, you said. Is that just applications, or that's how many you've helped in a year?
I'm sorry, I wish I would have asked more into that. I think it would be closer to applications
Okay.
than people actually help.
Okay.
If I'm way off, don't tell me. Then I feel bad. But the point is,
It's not fair, it's full-time.
it's,
It's not barely even part-time.
I mean, what happens now is Belinda receives the app, obviously, at the office. She calls me, she gives me all the information, we talk things over. And I say, well, send an application for proof of income and ask for a landlord statement. And then she does the paperwork for that, she sends it back, she calls me, she says, hey, such and so, so-and-so's app, I got the app, I got the income information. And she qualifies, and I got the landlord statement. And then I authorize her to pay it. Doesn't take a long time. And part of that's just because you do it for so long, you get pretty good at looking in an application and knowing right away what things need to be checked, and usually it's not a lot. I know at one time, Benton County was doing like 60 to 70 apps a month, and I was just like, wow. And I think they had the same guidelines that we did. I don't know what explains the difference there.
This fiscal year? We've had 3 this fiscal year.
We what?
We've had 3. 3
Sure.
times.
3 that they helped.
This year?
Fiscal year.
Fiscal year.
Wow. Well, I didn't go over.
No,
You didn't oversell it.
And sometimes I guess I consider when somebody calls and asks all these questions, it's pretty similar to an app, but yeah.
But that's helped,
Just
or that's apps.
wait till
No,
spring,
that's
Brandy, we'll get
that's
all
not
the
apps.
funerals.
That's helped.
That's
Yeah, oh, help, yeah, okay. And you still have to process an app, but it's less time consuming because typically it's because they're over income, you just send them that notice and you're done. An individual can only get assistance 3 times in a calendar year. It's not like you could live off this if you could.
oh, so they can't do 12 months, they only get like 3 months.
3 months out of a calendar year. Now, They might get 6 months if they're the last 3 months of one calendar year,
Right.
the first 3, but that, I don't think that's ever happened.
I wonder if a lot of them don't get to that point because they intercepted some help somewhere else before that point. You know, whether it's HACAP or whatever, so.
Or they get a job. Usually it's because they find employment, or they get on disability. Because they're truly disabled and can't work, but they have to wait for their, and that's addressed in here. If a person's applied for disability, then we can assist them.
We got any questions?
That's it for me.
That's good.
I mean, I hope you have, I hope you have until the spring to make that decision. I mean, I'm going to be around, obviously. I turned 76 last Saturday. I'm not looking for another job.
I was just gonna ask you, should you start at 85, right out of high school?
Yeah. Let's see. No, Kevin, I just lied. I graduated from high school in 1967.
I get credit, right?
Pardon?
I get credit for saying 85.
Oh, absolutely. Should have kept my mouth shut.
So everything that you do now will be taken over by the state?
For mental health.
Yeah.
Everything, absolutely everything. And I don't know if you're aware, but the state has contracted with PCA. Oh, no, I can't say it. Anyway, it's an agency that is involved with mental health. They're subcontracting all the mental health out to them. Primary Care Association in Des Moines is who it is. And I've heard things, but they're all rumors, so I won't share them. But I'm concerned about our consumers.
Well, I feel bad when we lose basically what I call a home rule.
At one of our meetings, it was a Zoom meeting, and we got halfway through, and May just said, "Marilyn, what are you thinking about all this?" And I said, "To me, it's super simple. You're going from grassroots to bureaucracy. I never in all my years have seen things improved with that scenario." I'm just a big believer in,
We did well. We're very responsible with the money. We had, you don't use the word, but we had a surplus of funds. And we had to change this because other counties didn't have a surplus and they wanted us to give us their money. That was a big no. So because somebody else was failing, we had to change everything else to fix what we didn't have failing.
when probably the first 10 years of my job, there was one service that the state paid for. And then the county paid for all the other mental health services of a certain individual. And every 6 months in this world, you have what's called a staffing for your client. And everybody involved with the client meets together and talks about how the client's doing, what services they need, what services they don't need. And Sam Hunt was the state social worker. I know you know Sam. You have to know Sam.
Probably do, but I just don't know.
Anyway, Sam worked for the state and I worked for the county, and I go to the staffing and somebody would say, well, John needs this service. And I could sit there and say, you know, I've known John for 8 years. I know his abilities. I know his areas that he needs to work on, and he does not need that service. And I could just make that decision right there. Or if we'd all decide, yeah, this person needed to add a service, I can authorize it right then and there. Sam had to go through 4 different people, and the person making the decision didn't know anything about the client, because that's how bureaucracy works. So, but it doesn't matter. None of that matters because they're taking it over. I hope it goes really, really well for everybody.
So we need to find somebody to do the general welfare.
Yep.
And then let you know that you'll help with the transfer.
Absolutely. You know, if it's some, you know, she couldn't because she just was so swamped with everything that was going on.
You said the 17th.
February 17th, maybe,
Oh,
is that
first?
That's the
21st?
21st, would that be?
21st, sorry, okay.
Sorry.
She can be up here by herself.
She probably loved the solitude. That poor girl, she's just,
So what's happening to her?
whatever she decides to do with her life,
It's not
same
gonna-
as everybody else.
She's out of it too then.
Everybody,
That's sad.
everybody.
You guys did such a good job.
Yeah, I shared her recent email update from her this morning of the priorities set.
Oh. Priority initiatives, yeah. Well, when you care about consumers, you wanna do everything you can to make the transition smooth, and I know she's totally devoted to that. I don't know how receptive the new agency is, but we'll find out. There's really a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, all these questions about payout for people's vacation and whatever payout their county policy has and.
Cindy said the last time that what you told us was the regions might take care of all that.
Yeah, we voted that the region would pay the
But it's
vacation.
really complex, you know, because, and then, you know, what if 60% of the workforce leaves next month and then the next month? And then you gotta provide services until June 30th. That's gonna be complex, but
July 1st, we're done then. It's all new, right?
completely done. You won't, or Brandy won't have to mess around with all the reimbursements and all that stuff. I don't know how you ever got that all figured out, Brandy. I'm impressed.
Oh, I feel like we learned something new about every month.
I will tell you that there are some auditors that weren't,
Receptive?
that's a good word. Let's use receptive. But our financial coordinator, Lisa Brandy, was very easy to work with and caught on quickly.
That's nice.
You know Deb thinks that way about you, don't you?
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret that there, let's just say that wasn't the case for her with everyone she dealt with. And so for that reason, she really appreciated it. So call me if you have questions, but it's a short drive.
See you later.
See you.
Thank you.
Happy weekend, tell Richard
Thank you. I think we're on our last hurdle.
good.
They let us go off antibiotics 10 days ago and he's had no symptoms. So after that, it's just a checkup every 6 months in the transplant clinic.
Awesome.
It'll be heavenly. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay, so the budget work session, Brandy's mentioned she hasn't got a lot done. I don't need to do big other things, so we can meet next week.
Did anybody go through those sheets that I sent out?
Yeah, I went through some
See if
of
there's
them.
anything that just seems like really skewed from.
You know, I had a question, Brandy, on our budget. I didn't get through the whole thing, but let's see.
We told them about it. Are you
On legal and related services.
Yep.
We went from, actual last year, $357 to a reestimate of 15,000. And then, a working budget amount of 15,000.
So working with what we're on now, the middle column is the current year that we're on, so FY 25.
Right.
And then the other one is the actual for 23, 24.
So, yeah,
There
so,
was some mix up with which line items we were using for, like when a claim would be paid for, say, like.
oh, yeah, now that I look, I see the one above. Actual last year was 8,000 and now that's reestimated at 5,000 for the current year.
It looked like we had been using like, like say an invoice for labor relations was using the same line item as any other like HR attorney billing that we would have, looked like primarily it was being used out of the same line item. Which I'm not really sure why there are two line items for essentially the same, I mean, they're an HR attorney. That's what they're doing for us, is HR work. So I'm not really sure why there's the two different line items, but does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah, I can see that now. Then I kind of looked down in Dylan's, maybe Chris might have. I have like actual last year, 83 on one of the buildings, repairs and maintenance, and the budget amount this year is 93.
What page are you on?
Page 11, about 3/4 of the way down. And maybe those numbers don't have his adjustments yet. I don't know, or where they should have been in here.
Yeah, that should be everything. Let me look up and see what that's specific line item is.
This is project 34. I don't know what that would be.
And then I needed to, and I think Dylan was gonna talk to you too, about, if you look a little further down, there's that one for 136,996 or 694.
Right.
That is the insurance money that we got for those claims from the storm damage last year. So the budget amendment that I'm working on right now, those funds are included in the expenses. So I'm doing the revenues, I'm amending the revenues and the expenses, but we need to figure out, are we doing those repairs this fiscal year, or are we doing those repairs next fiscal year?
So.
Because otherwise we're double
It was 200 and some
double
thousand,
budgeting for them.
right?
136.
It was like a 160 something, but wasn't the rest we were supposed to receive
After the repairs are done.
Yeah, so we
There's a
don't
holdback.
have any of that. So,
So you're talking, is it gonna be the 24-25 fiscal year or 25-26?
well, once I do that amendment, it's gonna be budgeted as an expense for both years. But, I mean, I can still change what's on that amendment. But we need to decide, like, are there going to be any expenses this year? Do we need to have anything budgeted? Or do we just need to budget it all next year, next fiscal year to, I hate to not budget anything for it next year because sure as the grass is green.
It'll happen next year. more
Yeah,
likely
we
because
will
you're-
get nothing done this year.
Yeah, I'm
Have it all
thinking
budgeted. And
The majority of it
then
will be next year.
It'll be after July 1st, because you still,
July rolls around, then we have to do a quick budget amendment because nothing's budgeted there to spend.
because after you get all the bids, then you gotta get something lined up, and it's a drawn out process, I think.
So I know he was gonna talk to you guys, you and Chris about it, because you're on building and grounds, right? Yeah. So,
Kevin went out and kind of looked at all this stuff.
I didn't go out, no, I just been involved in insurance and getting the money.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can be with him and, I mean, some of it, if he knows, we can, the problem is gonna be getting somebody to do the work. So if he knows that he can do some of it this year, then, well, it will be with him, talking about it.
I mean, that way, we're not double budgeting. We don't have that money budgeted in this budget year, and then also have that money budgeted next budget year. So I just don't know what that.
Just kind of cleans it up.
Kind of the same situation with, the Diamond Trail bond proceeds. So the money that we received for Diamond Trail, that bond that we have, I talked to Nick about with projects and when those projects would be done, that he has scheduled for this year. But I just can't, I can't budget $4.4 million this year for capital projects and then budget $4.4 million next year, because we don't have that. So somehow we need to figure out what may or may not be.
That's
done
what
this
you
year.
said, you shared that email with us,
Yes, yes.
And he didn't
So-
get very precise answer.
No, and I mean, the money's just not there. You can't budget twice.
Twice for
for
that.
the same
That's gonna look, it'd look really bad either way.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it'd be ideal if it was this year, because
Right.
we have that budgeted this year. But if they dwindle in and aren't done until next fall, because we can't pay for the
Then we're gonna
project.
show we have a huge, then we're gonna show we have a huge,
And they come down.
yes.
Because those proceeds are still sitting
Right.
together. So that's another dilemma that I have. And that's budgeted in capital projects, so that's not,
I know, Kevin, you want to
that's
talk
not
to,
affecting our
yeah, see if you can turn
general
that a little
basic
bit
or
closer?
general fund or the real basic.
Okay.
Tell him where we're coming from here with that, with a $4.5 million project.
And I can give you that from out, if I'm like that.
Yeah, I'll give you a copy of that.
And I just need a better idea of where we might be.
Would it be better if you all three met together? You, Kevin, and Nick?
You should understand we can't budget for it twice.
I mean, it's just not there.
Right.
I would create a deficit if I even tried. Oh, no, I have.
Get 11%.
One thing I noticed going through this though is the data processing charges on almost every department has gone up. Why is that so much? Like, here's one here, for the sheriff's department. On page 2,
What is the rural supplemental levy? Some counties have that.
So if you're maxed out on your rural basic, then you can have this.
What is the max for rural basic?
Our max is.
You know that one sheet about,
Yeah,
did you give us that?
yeah, but it's been a week or so ago. Maybe 2 weeks.
Okay. It's 2.87129.
There you go.
2.7 what?
2.87129.
And that amount is determined by
The envelopes or whatever,
Yeah.
formula, those
that max levy proposed.
right?
so that would go right here.
So just how it decreased our 350 from the
That's where
general.
that's what's lower than what we had last year.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
you
the
already got it in there.
rural supplemental would be very much like our general supplemental.
Let's see. I figured that's what it was.
And much like the general supplemental, you can only pay certain things out of that.
Right. I just comparing us to the 5 above counties and the 5 below counties, and what their levy rates are compared to ours.
It's kind of all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some one way, some the other way.
Well, like this, looking at just the general, Clayton was the high with a 4.8. And the low, and we're the low one, general.
So general basic.
Yeah.
So there were 30 counties that would be on the 350,
The 30/30.
the 30/30. So they're all having to,
Yeah,
How they do that?
I don't know.
Did you have grand
Some of those
totals then,
counties,
too?
I don't know how long it's gonna take them to get
What? Maybe-
scaled back to.
No, they're not.
315.
You're just looking at their,
I just went across and looked at their levies, like this is the general,
I know.
pioneer, general, like yours, that's the supplemental one,
Yeah.
the debt service, the rural basic.
They're up in there,
I was just wondering if you had.
So they.
Oh, the grand total, they didn't have it, no, they didn't have a grand total, but you could figure, I mean, all you had to do is a bunch of numbers.
Right.
Like for Floyd, see what we got for Floyd,
What's the website you get that on?
IATRlocal.org.
Did you just Google it?
Yeah, I can just do this.
Get a hold of you.
Oh, send it to me.
Yeah, I can point that to you now.
I
Maybe.
I can change my saving time better than you
Something
can.
to look at.
I'm not saying.
This
I'm
one's
not
zero
doing
to
it.
And
Floyd.
I cannot do what I was
No,
gonna do.
no,
I
no.
don't have to do
Let
that.
me see what Floyd comes up to, just skipping.
It's fine. I just want to make sure I'm telling you I'm doing it the right way. We want that.
I can just
So next week, if
send it forward. But I don't really wanna go to this, but.
So there's the
you budget proceeds, we just need to find
9.8.
out which budget you're looking
Well,
at.
last year we were at.
And if it needs to be broken up.
So we were lower than.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure I ask you the right.
I'm trying to all structure.
Right,
Like she
but
said,
like I said, I was five above and five there, so their populations are very similar to ours.
is the population on
No, they're not.
I'll just redo it early.
Well, after last week's meeting, I don't know if you want to meet with me again. Do I click?
Some drainage districts like that. I
Tammy.
mean, what is that?
So
Clay.
that is,
Hardin,
the county will sell water.
and this was us, Iowa, and Crawford,
Basically to fund that fund.
Floyd,
We're
Jefferson,
taking care of
Page.
it.
Which ones are up and which ones are
These
down?
these are about 1,000 above us, and it's about 1,000 below us. Approximately.
So it's four of these.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks, that'd be good
But that
information,
like
just to
one.
Right.
play with and look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're funded. And then if you have a big one, but, like that one will include like the lawn maintenance, or our lawn payments, so, with a couple of different financial institutions that, this one's important, so then we just issue our payments to them.
I got you.
And I look at this one. I think we have several more.
So Hardin County is a 10.7.
Think perhaps
Oh, wow.
if we have anybody else that are-
Well, now that's up by Franklin County,
I
right?
think so.
Hardin's Eldora, right?
Yeah.
Which one of them has turbines and one doesn't, right?
I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, Franklin does.
John, I was gonna look up that line item that you were looking at for
Oh, no,
maintenance that you were wondering on.
Dylan's,
Yeah.
These are all good. Our talk should take 5 minutes, because you won't be able to do it in front of you. Our talk over there should be like 5 minutes, because he's not gonna have the numbers in front of him.
Yeah, Tama's at 10.87. So wow.
Do we want to have a meeting during the week next week?
The only day that I'm free is Tuesday, and I'm not sure how much I can get done by Tuesday.
$2 more is all.
The question on mine, I can answer those.
Oh,
Could you slash yours in half?
Well, I can't slash it in half, but I did say, if I I need to cut the election laptops,
How much is that?
24. My only concern with that is the ones, those 10 is no longer supported. I have no electronic poll book.
There's no way of doing half this year, half next year. We get to do them all at once.
It's easier that way and more cost effective because if you
Volume
bundle
break.
them, then they give you a deal.
I didn't know if you could, what about software changes in between?
Kevin, I take that back. There's $500 in ours for office equipment furniture.
So I can get a pair of vice grips to hold this one up.
I'll give you an old pair, then you can, I'll buy a new pair.
Isn't it the farmer way to fix things? Just get a
Yeah.
vice grip. Yeah. Duct taping's gonna hold this.
Well, he's probably got some duct tape if you need to try that.
What's that
Anyways,
And you're lucky you didn't get the old people ever.
Yeah, with that mental health board, it'll be interesting because some of the bigger counties, they bought vehicles and stuff for different things.
Hmm.
You know, where's,
Where's the
how they gonna liquidate all that, you know? Be a nightmare. Think about all we got from them is a couple computers.
Did conservation come back like they're talking to council?
I told them to, but whether was kind of, we need to.
I haven't seen any changes.
I need to find stuff out there.
He confirmed that because I had sent everybody their worksheets just to double check to make sure I didn't have anything miscalculated or misentered,
Mhm.
just with all the different ones. Oh, because this is the TIF funds.
Okay,
So these are everything that's TIF.
yeah,
So, this number
Yeah.
is the diamond,
okay,
and then this one is Kinsey.
okay. I mean, I'm just,
I didn't really go over the revenue.
let that say.
No, I figured revenue.
Yeah, it did go up.
I mean, the only thing you would maybe look at it for is to see if maybe there's a mistake somewhere.
Right.
Big drastic difference.
And they, have shown us to do 100%.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It's not.
Yeah.
It's clear as mud.
But you did get changes from the sheriff's department from Devlin though, right?
I did get changes from the sheriff's department. I do not think that I did get changes, unless maybe he did email them to me, he brought them in. My budget before I keep everybody's worksheets, please on my desk.
Okay, just let me know if you
Grab
did.
it, Ken. I feel like he brought it over, but
Yeah, because I
there's
think
been so many different sets of.
it was right before he left, so I'm sure,
Yeah.
because I know
I
he,
think he did bring something over on Friday, I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I don't remember.
because I thought he was doing it right when we were there.
We're
wasn't
supposed to.
Is that on the cars?
He said he was.
he? What's that?
Is that on the cars?
No, that was
No, it was on-
carpet and
And
paint.
painting the jail.
Oh,
Was gonna save,
You want me to run out and grab my book? If I'm working, I can. Okay.
Peter, what was the other one? Oh,
the painting and the carpet, right? That
yes,
was it.
yes.
What was it, about 50,
75,000, I think.
75,000?
I think 25 for carpet, 50 for the paint.
I decided to get a lower chair.
I got some coffee or water to offer, yeah.
Kevin, do you know why, in the revenues, there would not be any showing over here?
Yeah, for us.
Is that a very good question?
I don't know, since we had 46,000 last year.
What's it in?
Oh, that front page of the revenues,
Yeah, what?
category 99, which is that one that's got all of them in it. Like non-departmental. It's like, it talks about penalties and interest current and I'm sure there's an easy explanation. I don't know. It's got that's last year. I have nothing for working, but.
There's one with the
Randy,
answer.
before you go around there, what's this one here? Please, right here. So we get that there and. Do we have any projected revenue in this? Should we have?
So that is hard to budget for because you don't know who might be late.
Right,
That's delinquent taxes, 46,000.
well, yeah, the total for the whole thing is
Penalty and
40,
interest, yeah.
the total is 47,000. Maybe we'll have 2 million in there this year.
Well, let's not hope that that many people don't pay their.
If they're that delinquent, then we have other issues.
Right? We wish we might have more money sometimes.
So did we ever budget revenue in there before, or we never have?
Tell me what line item that is.
Uh,
Are you looking at line items or you're looking at?
Look at that, the revenue
Is
budget,
that page one, John?
yep, page 1. Penalties and interest. So it looks like we're just estimating maybe 20,000 this year. When that was 47.
Current year, yeah. So what that one is, that's a tax-related revenue. So we don't actually budget in that line. It populates once we have those penalties. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 'cause- Even as you go further down on that first page, you have, military service replacement, two-tier replacement, commercial and industrial replace. There's like in that total area, you got like 108,000 actual and then 93,000 current year and then zero.
Give me just a minute. Okay, first, let me look at. What's it on that? And you said you thought it was $75,000.
Well, there's a couple of different spots here. So you have that one we just talked about, difference there.
Oh, I was talking about Dylan's
Oh,
building maintenance.
oh, okay, yeah,
Because I have the one where he changed salary from 0 to 2.5. Would it have been that same?
would that have been the same one, Chris, when he did the 2.5% salary? Probably was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it was that Friday
Yep.
before he left that we talked to him. So, yeah, he must have, because I'm pretty sure he was writing them on the piece of paper, right? when we were-
Yeah.
This one's written on there, so that's probably it.
About 15. Those are the only two changes I have. Simplex contract.
Can we copy those pages when we talk to him a little?
And then this page is just benefits.
This one was just benefits?
Yeah, do you want all of them?
Yeah, just give me the whole budget for him, because Chris and I will go over and talk to him. I'm almost sure they're probably on there.
Right.
She's only getting like 15,000.
Do you have conservations up here too, Brandy? If I can get a copy of that, I'll take it with me.
Apparently my fingers are not magic.
I had phone that was like that. I'd go in there. Ooh, US Cellular, the buttons don't work when I push it. And they go, well, there they do. I went in like 3 times. I don't know if it's, and finally Jack told me, well, you're pushing too long. I'm like, okay.
I pushed too far or too long and then I started deleting things. I don't know, my fingernails or. You want to stay together, John?
But that,
You want to stay?
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This one's conservation.
Yeah.
Well, Rob will probably have to change his again anyhow with that new contract with the marshals, right?
Should add revenue, right?
It should be Henry, both. She's gonna hire a new employee.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I think those sheets are just out of date, the ones from last week. Because I'm showing it in the file. Because does yours show anything for, does it show 200 in 2 lines down?
Right.
On the Department 99, the interest and the, on page 1 that you were asking about?
Yeah, I'll show you.
There, and nothing there, and we have 200 there. And that's what I have in here.
So it's basically you just matched up with last year and put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you just never know. I mean, you anticipate there will be some, but.
Yeah, I mean, we probably budgeted revenue 20,000 that year too, and it was just
Right.
26,000
Right.
more. So, but those numbers are in there now.
Yep, they're in the
What
computer.
about down in here? See clear down here, so you got like 23,000 total here, that's not over in here.
Doesn't look like I put anything there. So,
Have we in the past?
looks like last year we had 62. And then we got 37, so we're halfway through. This is one that each year we get a little bit less. Same as this industrial replacement, because this one's eventually gonna go away.
So do we budget revenue in there though?
You can.
Adjust it? Or, I guess have we in the past? Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Like 60.
So that would help our revenue numbers if we had those in there.
Slightly.
Yeah,
So,
so,
yes, you guys tell me what you are thinking. Do you want me to just do the same as what we have done this year? This one worries me because I said this one is eventually going away, because it went from $33,000 in 23-24. So we've done 23, so it's gone down. If you figure we're halfway through the year. It could be 28,000 maybe.
Be conservative.
Yeah, I would budget it in.
Like 20, do you want me to do 25?
At least something.
That's what we had last year.
Yeah, like for this year. No, we'll definitely get less, because this one is being phased out.
Well, I think being conservative, you'd want to say less, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't think we're gonna get 25, then I wouldn't put that, but if you think we're gonna get 20, put 20, because they'll all add up, that's for sure, I mean, because they're adding up to,
This one,
33,000 here, and
I would guess it. Might go down, might stay about the same. So I could just put that in there and hope that.
that's what we budgeted last time. But we're only at 38. What is that two-tier replacement?
It's a credit. You receive that.
Yeah, I would say to throw some numbers in there.
It's just hard to guesstimate where you should be.
If we could bank on it for sure, heck, that would be another 40, if we can't bank on 48,000 again there, and
Especially that second one that we're talking about.
Nice.
Like I said, it's gradually being phased out.
but it'll add about, I don't know, we'd have to see when we put the numbers in there, but those two sections there we were talking about could add about another 40, 50,000 to our revenue.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, if we can find about 10 more of those.
When's the last time you said 50,000? It was a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, that's for sure.
Obviously, you have a different banking account than I got.
Yeah,
How much they pay you for coaching?
not very much.
Well, just in a couple of weeks, we affected with changes, we've affected it by
Right.
200,000, so I guess we just keep looking.
Yeah.
Keep looking, keep
Like
begging.
I said, that report is really good for comparing from year to year.
Yeah, we're seeing if somebody just made a big mistake, the numbers in wrong. Because there's a lot of numbers here to look at, I know,
Yeah, make your head hurt.
like Brandy looks at a lot more numbers than us.
Right.
Not even, but like this current net capital taxes, like last year it was 69. And for this year, it's budgeted 364. Is that,
That one
or what am I looking
debt service.
at? Okay, so that's not.
Right.
That's fine. You just do what you're keeping.
Can you tell me what that one is?
1,000, are you talking? It's probably not.
That's all right.
Because,
We're looking at it.
yeah, something there.
Chris, let me finish entering
You're fine.
numbers, and then we will look at your conservation.
So you just, just get it right.
You wanted to get one? It's your call. Did you hear back from the wholesale insurance? That was like 300,000, wasn't it?
People drink more beers, get more beer permits.
Only that was the kids.
Of course, that's the actual, previous year was 11,000 and we're re-estimated at 4,000.
Oh, that's my call.
We just catch $200.
Is Mr. Dan in? Thanks.
I just had another great nephew that's this morning. For my mom and dad, that's number 137 offspring.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys are gonna catch up.
Imagine Christmas.
You will.
Yeah. Where the heck do you guys get together with her?
Well, it's her birthday,
Oh, you
Thursday.
came into work.
The ones that can, we're gonna go up to Bancroft and take her out to lunch.
So, Did they call you a couple of weeks ago about figuring out some of the insurance issues? Do you remember any of that conversation? Did you?
I bet it's gone. I'm gonna find that next. You have to look.
Yeah, I still would go the speed limit though.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot just to get the 9 of us brothers and sisters together. What we did last year.
Because I think it's probably a couple $100,000.
I used to print them off for me, and I can look at them.
Oh.
Just wants the contract.
Is that good? Can I do that?
I like that.
No, I'm gonna go out and grill him.
Correct.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's a long, drawn out process.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yep. Bye.
Just gonna look and see if there were other things that changed.
He's supposed to send you something here. He says get this morning, but that's like a couple $100,000. Which we don't have included in here, do we? Yet?
You did change one of the park improvement lines.
Yeah. Should have one of us should take out that.
Cost announcement, I'm not entirely sure what he had before, but he changed it back to 90 instead of whatever he had.
One.
Do you want revenues as well?
No.
I'm not sure if I'll need to find the push this button. It works for one thing, but.
That's okay, I wouldn't qualify.
Yeah.
You're too low to the ground.
Was that a good comment?
Oh, it worked.
You got her.
Hey, did you see how I had to do it that
Yeah.
way?
Okay, you want it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.